In this life we live, pain is a situation that is unavoidable, whether physically or mentally. We all deal with pain day to day. All we just need to do is to hang in there and remind ourselves how strong and patient we are, without being affected by difficult experiences or problems we face every day. Marie-Louise, her life story started from the day she was born. She was not born disabled, she was born normal, with her both legs functioning properly. And one day she was attacked by a gang. It was at night by when she was from work going home. She passed across a forest near the village, and these gangs thought she had a lot of money. They brought machetes, beat her to death while cutting off her legs. Not only that, but they also damaged her whole body and took everything she had. She stayed there alone in the forest, screaming, crying, asking for help, and hopeless. She thought she was dead until a good person who is noble at heart passed through and hear Marie-Louise screaming, lying down, and then took her to the hospital right away. She was in so much pain. When doctor examined her, they found out that the legs were so damaged that they had to be removed. She just thought that life would never be the same again and started to learn how she can survive without legs, even if it was so hard to accept. After being discharged from hospital, she went to live with one of her relatives. That relative was her aunt. At her aunt's house, there were a lot of different people who would come to visit her aunt. From there, she met a lot of men who forced her to sleep with her and made her pregnant. Life without parents left her as a subject to different people in the neighborhood. After becoming pregnant, she went back home, but her family treated her badly, and by when she gave birth, they abandoned her totally. Man who made her pregnant never helped her, as she kept struggling plus having no legs. She lived in a village, and people who saw her struggling with life advised her to come to town. She met people who paid her first rent and other way to get money, was going to streets to beg since there was no other choice available to make. She comes to this town with only 2 children who had different fathers. After a while, she met another man who promised to be there and help her in his life without any cost, and lives with her for the rest of his life. The man was so sure and serious about what he was promising her, and without being annoyed by other children, she found with Marie-Louise. He was honest and caring. He could fulfill all responsibilities of a man, father, and a husband. Marie-Louise was the happiest woman alive at that time, until one day that man left her. After a few years, he left her with 8 children in total. The man abandoned his wife and went away. She realized that she was wrong to trust him because that man was not the man of his word. She stayed there alone, sad and betrayed by the man she loved. As it was too late, it is written in the Bible, not to trust anyone. We all know that trust is the important things in relationship, whether it is love or friendship. But when the trust is broken and one is crushed, it is not easy to trust again. You need to think and be careful before believing someone blindly, because being hurt by someone you love is heartbreaking. You feel like you can never trust anyone ever again. Later, she got some news that her husband lived to the neighboring country. She even got the contact and started contacting them, but knowing it's her, they ignored her and turned off their phones. Life right now is hard, and so to this mother of 8 children who always praying that these men have to come back and take a good care of their children, as it is not easy for her to raise them on her own. Some neighbor of her were spreading rumors that she was abandoned because of having no legs, but it doesn't make sense because she met this man when she was disabled. She just wished to ask those neighbors if they have been watching her. But as a believer, she wishes God bless them. She always says that she can only wishes them blessings over blessings to their lives, even though they wanted her to suffer. She doesn't want them to have a bad life, but a better one, which surprised us as we were expecting her to curse them according to how they treated her and what they did to her. She says that she knows God and knows that Heavenly Father Lord is the one who is in charge of punishing people for what they did. She has nothing apart from the house where she lives. Well, she couldn't afford buying such house on her own. The house was given her by the government of Rwanda. As someone who is disabled and has 8 children, this is about having house preventing her from worrying about paying rents. But the needs she has is way more than paying the rent. As a single mother who is disabled with 8 children, she do appreciate that at least she owns a house. But it's really not enough. She has to provide for her 8 children, like paying their school fees and many more. We didn't find all her 8 children at home, as some of them were at school. Even though she has no legs, that can't prevent her from working. She is such a strong woman who says she cannot just sleep in the house or sit and wait, or because of having no legs. She cultivates and she also do a lot of activities here at home. Earning money is still a big challenge, as she only gets money when she's begging on the street. Marie-Louise says she wants to learn a few more skills using her arms. Among what she can try is weaving sweaters and so on. But learning that also requires a certain amount of money, which she doesn't have even though she begs. It's not something she's proud of. After all, she was born with a hard-working mentality. This woman needs amount of work, but point out that a watcher would be priority. As she tired of stones and other objects scratching her. She need a wheelchair, as crawling like the way she moves is also a big problem. The way all husbands treated this mother left her with a big lesson to teach her children. She always tells her children that the purpose of human being is to serve and to show sympathy and the desire to help others. She raised her children and teaching them to be better person of their generation. Love and need are necessities, not luxuries. Without all this, human cannot survive. No matter what happens in life, be kind to people. Being good to people is a wonderful legacy to leave behind. As concluding this story, always remember that your present situation is not your final destination. The best is yet to come. And it's not about what you have or even what you have accomplished. It's all about who you have lifted up, who you've made better. It's about what you have given back. Thank you for watching.